Okay. I'm out here in my junkyard, as I call it, or bay number 2. And this is the $100 Hustler that I bought earlier this year. It's a 44-inch, 18-horse Honda. Motor runs. I had it running, but when I moved, I got a little bit too busy. And that is bigger than a 3/4. It's 11/16. All right. So let me get this wheel changed. Here comes my helper. So I'm going to shut the camera off, but we'll get this up in the shop and go from there. Okay, so it's in the shop. And this thing's got wiring problems. Every time that wire gets plugged in, it blows a fuse. I ran out of 20 amp fuses and it won't handle the 10 kicking this thing over, but I kind of modified the wiring a little bit. This is a pain. Ignore that jumper right there. It's for testing purposes only. Motor spins over and it's not getting fire, and I think it has something to do with this box that Honda calls a engine stop diode. I have no idea what the heck it is, but it's got a power wire coming in and should have 2 kill wires coming in. Yeah, the kill wires going into the coil on this one, so yeah. And it's getting no fire. I had to put a new fan on top because the other one fell apart. I got the top cover for it somewhere. The gas in this thing is green. So we're getting there. It's going to need belts, probably blades. I hope water didn't get down in that hydraulic system. There's my key. So yeah. I'm about to call it a day anyways, but this is the start on the $100 Hustler. I believe this is from 2002. It's a GXV610. You don't see too many motors that can be mounted horizontal or vertical. All I have to do is change the intake manifold and it can be a horizontal shaft. But yeah, anyways, see you on the next one. So it's day 2 on the Hustler project, and I'm now getting fire out of both coils. I swapped them around. Apparently on a Honda, the coils are side specific. It's not like a Briggs or Kohler where you can swap the coils either way and they'll work. If you notice, they're color coded. I had the black over here and the gray over here, and I was getting fire on this side but not on this side, so I swapped them, put black over there, gray over there, and I'm getting fire out of both sides if I leave this engine stop diode off. This is what grounds out the coils, and the only purpose of this thing is to prevent the coils from not grounding out at the same time, and that part's like $40. I don't feel like spending that, so I'm going to put a wire here, put a wire there, take it to ground, and see. And there's the mess of wires that I'm messing with to try to sort out. I kept blowing fuses. I blew all my 20s and 30s. But apparently this was plugged in to the hot lead out of the wiring harness. And I think this box was bad all along, because this mower originally came into my shop back in April because it wasn't getting any fire. I had the motor running once on 1 cylinder, so I know the motor's good. But anyways, I need all new fuel line. This stuff is just rotten. The fuel line on the mower itself is ancient. I think this is from like 2001 or 2. It's a 44-inch. This is from 2002. It's got a few hours on it. If I can find the hour meter, I'll show you. Where's that hour meter at? Oh, right down there. It's got like 800 and something hours on it. 872 point something. That's not a lot of hours for as old as this thing is. Well, my little trick worked with the ground wire attached to both of the coils. I checked it. It gets spark when this wire is not touching something grounded, and when I touch something grounded, it does not get spark anymore. So I got both the spark plugs put in. I got rid of this little guy. I don't think I'll need him. And dead battery. Just looking at this thing, it needs belts really bad. I just hope water didn't get down in the hydro on that side. That'll be fun to deal with. Got all my electrical straightened out. It quit blowing fuses because I got rid of the wires that were shorting out. And I got the top somewhat on. I just got to order some cosmetic things for it. And yeah, the $100 Hustler with a GXV610 on it. I believe it's a 610. I know they made two of these. GXV610, you can kind of see it down here. Okay, so this thing here shot a flame out of the intake. Scary stuff. So I'm going to check the valves on it. This will be fun. More like aggravating instead of fun. Oil everywhere. Oh, crap. Okay, so the valve clearance on this GXV610 intake is 15 thousandths, exhaust is 20 thousandths, and I gotta see which one's the intake. It's going to be the top one. The bottom one's going to be exhaust. So this should be 15 thousandths, and that is way too tight. And the bottom one should be 20 thousandths, and it is way too tight. And this is going to be fun to do because I can't put a socket on there. It looks like I'm going to need a wrench to hold the back and one to do the front. And it looks like this is all going to be much bigger. Nope, that's a 10. Maybe I can just loosen that. Really tight. Let's see, 15. Nope. Loosen that up some more. That's a really unusual valve setting. Getting there. Alright. And the exhaust is supposed to be 20 thousandths, and it's not. So that would explain why it's shooting flames out of the muffler. So I'm going to crank back on this. Someone's got this way too tight. Bottom one's supposed to be 20. Getting there. Oh, whoops. Okay. Check it now, 20 thousandths. Too loose. So get a hair. I want just a little bit of drag on there. It's too much for my liking. Crank down on it again. I got no customers coming. Give it one more for good measures. It's a little loose still. Tighten it up again. That's perfect. There's a good amount of drag on that. This one should be 15. Good amount of drag. So we're doing that. So now we'll do the other side. This head ought to be fine. So gently. These have definitely been off before. That gasket's gonna rip. Some black nasty oil. It's going in the floor. As usual. Yum. Okay, feeler gauge. 15. It's perfect. I'll go to the bottom. This one's going to be, wow. Bottom one's so tight it's compressing the valve. That's our exhaust valve. So if that valve's partially open, it is going to backfire through the carburetor. Or both valves partially open because they're so tight. I went too far. Get my 20 out here. A little tight still. I'm gonna back it off in here. This is an awkward position because I put this motor in here sideways. That's way too loose. Close it off of here. And that is perfect. Check the top one again. Perfect. 20 barely fits in there. You're actually supposed to do it this way. Put the feeler gauge in there. Tighten up on the feeler gauge until you have a little bit of drag. That's how you're supposed to do it. If there's too much drag, drop the smooch. That's the right amount. You can feel it catching. Okay. So I'm going to put the valve covers back on. It's fairly straightforward process. First I gotta find the valve cover. That's right down here. Get the oil on my shoe. Let me go get rid of this oil. It's called the oil bucket. Not pouring it out this way. figure out what way that goes on, just like that. I know my arm roll's in the way. Slide that in there. Not torquing anything. Valve cover. Don't spin. Good. Now let's do the other side. Let's do that one off camera, and then we'll start this thing up here and see if it catches on fire again.